Hello and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2017 video. My name is Rob, joined by Lesley and David Pumpkins. Hello.
Not my idea, clearly.
It was her idea. She doesn't want to admit to it. It's okay. Because today's video is all about a movie she wanted to watch called Hatchet III. Ordered this in special. Just for her. No, it wasn't just for her. Whatever, you know the story. You've seen the video.
If you've watched, if you haven't, go back.
We're on number 28. And Hatchet III from 2013. Sequel to Hatchet 1 and 2.
Which I loved.
Which Lesley really enjoyed. In fact, she enjoyed Hatchet 4.
Oh yeah, that was
called
really
Victor
good.
Crowley. Which oddly enough we did see before this particular
Long
one.
story.
Yeah.
You should have watched already. What's wrong with you?
So this film is again written by Adam Green, but directed by B.J. McConnell, which I don't believe. I thought Adam Green directed 1 and 2.
And didn't he do the last one?
And I think he did 4.
Wow.
So yeah,
That makes
new director. Interesting. I did not know that. It's his directorial debut apparently as well.
Would that have been when they were talking at the After Dark thing about how he had some issues or whatever, and then they said go back to what you like or whatever, and then they did the last one? So maybe that's why he was not involved.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, so the film is, it picks up right when the number 2 ends.
Which I like.
Yes, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to see this before we saw 4, because after seeing 1 and 2 we were like, oh, okay, this is just going to start exactly where the last one ended.
But frickin' Amazon.
Yeah, so, well, it got to be, considering it said it was...
Like right after we saw number 4.
I know. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It happens. I'm not going to blame Amazon for that. I mean, it was still within a very quick shipping period. It just wasn't
When we
2 days after I ordered it. Anyways, this is not about Amazon shipping practices. No, this is about Hatchet 3. Essentially, the story is Danielle Harris is back, reprising her role from the second film. Kane Hodder is back, reprising his role from all the films as Victor Crowley. And Mr. Chen is back, playing a different role from parts 1 and 2. But he does play the same role again in 4. Outside of that, I think everybody is new. Everybody's new. There are a couple of other people in this that are of some note. Who was the... Sean Whalen. You
Is that the one I thought I knew?
That's the one you knew. Right? As he's one of those guys, he's got a face you recognize, and I mean, and he plays a lot of bit roles and things and secondary. I mean, if you pull him up on IMDb, he's got like over 100 roles, right? And they go all the way in. I think he's been going for a long time, from 1990. So he's been acting for a while. In fact, he was Roach in People Under the Stairs in his second role ever.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see the People Under the Stairs? Wow, okay. Revenge of the Nerds 3, The Next Generation. He took up the role of Wormser. Then, yeah, he was in stuff like Batman Returns and Step Monster and Doppelganger. Tammy and the T-Rex, he was Weasel. Waterworld, he was Bone. Just a whole bunch of stuff. In Twister, he was Alan Sanders.
But seriously, was he in what I thought? No.
What were you thinking he was in?
I don't want to say.
Oh yeah, Men in Black. He's the passport officer. But yeah, he's in so many things. Never Been Kissed. He's Merkin. Idle Hands. He's McMacy. In Python, he's Deputy Lewis Ross.
Wow, he really was in.
And he's all over the place. Like, he does comedies, he does action, he does all sorts of things, and a lot of
I thought he was maybe in Grown Ups.
In Grown Ups?
Or Grown Ups 2, but now I'm thinking of Crazy.
I think you may be wrong, because I don't. When was Grown Ups now?
I don't pay attention to that stuff. But he looks very similar to the guy who was in there.
Yeah, I don't think so. But again, laid to rest. He was Steven in the Halloween 2 remake. He's Bex. If you saw the FP, I didn't like the movie. A lot of people kind of like it as a kind of cult thing. He plays Stacy's dad in that one. Yeah. I guess he was not in what you thought he was. But yeah, he's one of those guys who you see him and you're like, I know that guy from somewhere. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for it. Like I said, over 100 credits to his name. He's just got one of those faces. Then there was also, I'm trying to think. I thought I recognized her. The wife or whatever, ex-wife.
Yeah, I did too. She looked familiar.
So, essentially, this story is Danielle Harris's character is, she kills Victor Crowley, and she goes back to civilization, and she's of course covered in blood, and she's carrying a shotgun. And what does she do? She walks into a cop shop, and essentially says, "I killed him." And what would any, respectable cop shop do with a person who walks in covered in blood, carrying a shotgun, who says, "I killed him"? Well, they arrest her.
Well.
Right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Starts off.
And, so she tells the story, Victor Crowley, blah, 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 blah. And they're all just like, whatever, you're nuts. You clearly killed somebody. So she's in jail, and the cops, all the sheriffs and all that kind of stuff, they go off into the swamp. Meanwhile, the sheriff's ex-wife has been doing a book or I don't know. She's doing something.
Investigating it.
Investigating the Crowley murders and stuff like that. So she goes and she's talking to Danielle Harris. And this is the character we're talking about. It's her. And I looked at her. I was like, she looks extremely familiar. And again, she has quite a few acting credits to her name, starting from the 70s. And apparently she was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 as Vanita Stretch. You remember Stretch? Brock. Getting Even. A lot of television stuff. Stepfather 2, she was Maddie Crimmins. And oddly enough, she came back for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 as an uncredited role as a reporter. Days of Thunder, she was Jenny Burns. I don't know that she was really a big part of anything, but we had recently watched the Leprechaun movies. Yeah, and she's from Leprechaun 3.
Who was she in that?
Loretta. And again, she would have been, almost 20 years younger. Yeah, a whole bunch of different things. Most of it's like
one part thing.
Like little side things. She was also in Halloween 2 as Dr. Maple. I wonder if more of these people, if we went through it, if more of them were going to show up in Halloween 2. Probably have the same casting agent or something like that. But yeah, so she's still going. I mean, she was in Contracted as Sam's mom. Tales of Poe, she's the Angel of Dreams. Tales of Halloween, she's Mrs. Blake from the Sweet Tooth segment. And yeah, apparently the director went on to do a bunch of Slayer stuff, and a lot of these people seem to have this Slayer as their on their credits thing. But she was in Sharknado 4. The Lycanthropist is coming out eventually. So I mean, it seems she's gone kind of towards the genre more than anything, whereas previously she was doing a lot of one-offs in television and such like that. But she's definitely...
Well, she's still working.
Yeah, so. Definitely somebody I recognize because of the amount of stuff she's in and the amount of stuff she's in that I've seen. I didn't know who she was or what she was in, but I knew I kind of recognized the face. But yeah, so anyways, it's... well, it's a Hatchet movie, so people go into the swamp, people get killed. Except... I don't know how to put it.
It now makes a lot of sense to me why this movie I didn't like the other three. Because of that director.
You think that's the reason?
I really
Even though it was written by the same guy?
That's the only explanation I can come up with, because I liked the first one a lot, liked the second one a lot, loved the fourth one, and then this one, to watch this, I'm like... And it's not even because I already watched the other one, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no.
That's not the reason
you don't,
at all.
Honestly, though you should watch the Hatchet movies in order, they're splatter, slasher things, right? Like, it's... Victor Crowley comes out and he kills people. The story doesn't really matter. It really doesn't.
No, and this is a bad thing that I'm going to say and everybody's going to hate me. But I kind of thought, like, maybe I just didn't realize how much the director matters. Like, I really didn't. And I'm being honest, I really didn't. I'm just like, okay, that's their job. They tell people what to do and whatever. I tell people what to do at my work and whatever. But that's the only difference I can see here. And if that's why, like, holy shit, they do a lot. Because the other ones, great.
Well, I don't think it was just that. Honestly, this is the third movie, so you can tell the budget's gone down as they went along. Essentially, this has a lot of gunfire and it's a lot of gore. There's still a lot of gore.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Wow, I could probably find out. But whoever the cinematographer was on this film, oh my god!
If it was the same one, then I don't know.
I don't know, but cinematography by Will Barrett. Because this film looked like garbage. Mm-hmm. Like, they're using freaking flashlights and lights are coming from who knows where, and it's just, yeah, he's the guy. He's the
seriously
same guy. So it wasn't his fault. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't like. Maybe he didn't have they didn't have the budget to give him what he had on the other film. I don't know.
Which I don't understand, because the number 2 was still good.
Yeah, but...
And then how do you go from this one to getting the number 4, which was way, way better?
Well, I think he did that, but that he did that all himself. Right? So this was still money that was put towards it from whoever, from some studio or something, Dark Sky or whatever. But the fourth one, he went back and did it himself, right? He's self-doing that whole thing. So...
Well...
I think that's why it was closer to the first film than, obviously this was like, this one went downhill big time.
This one
and honestly, I think it irked us right off the bat because essentially, okay, we mentioned, Danielle Harris's character goes in and to the cop shop and she gets arrested. And what is the first thing they do? They wash her off. She's covered in blood. Everywhere. She's covered in evidence. They just washed it off.
And then the guy's like, so is she injured? No. So none of that is her blood.
Yeah, none of it's her blood. They haven't done anything. They just, we need to get you clean because we can't have you in our cells looking like this, essentially, is the way it seemed. And so they hose her down and wash off all that evidence. Okay, whatever. We'll let that go. But then, all these police officers go off into the swamp after, saying, oh, we've discovered a whole bunch of bodies. Okay, great. And then they just start picking up the bodies and piling them on a boat.
But it was like paramedics.
But not just the cops were doing it too. Like, everybody was doing it, right? Like,
it's just like, oh, we'll get him in a bag and take
put him in a bag.
It's like, what?
Nobody's documenting anything. Okay. And then
that's what really got me.
Danielle Harris is at the cop thing in the cell, and the last deputy there decides to let the ex-wife of the sheriff in to see her. She hasn't had a phone call. She hasn't, I don't even know if she's been charged with a crime yet. And this is the weird thing is, she pulls out a checkbook and says, I'm here to post bail. She hasn't had a bail hearing yet. Like,
that's not what's going on. That's not right. That's not
no. There's a lot of procedure that is completely ignored.
And it didn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be a huge budget movie to just go by the book. You know what I mean?
There was like, it's like they're just like, whatever. It's a Hatchet movie. Who cares, right?
Yeah, well.
And then, she not only goes in to see Danielle Harris, and she's only supposed to be in there for a couple minutes. But then, cut back to the swamp, and she's there having a full-on interview.
After, she's like, oh no, I want a lawyer. I don't want to talk to her. Whatever. No lawyer.
Next thing we see with the two of them, she's doing a full-on interview. And I was just like, well, if she was the murderer, she's getting off now because there's no evidence that hasn't been tampered with. She hasn't seen a lawyer. Her whole trial. She has asked for one, though she didn't need to. I don't think she's been read her Miranda rights by this point, even though you don't need to show that. I'm pretty sure it hasn't happened. Essentially everything that needed to be done to arrest somebody, charge them, and have them convicted of a crime was completely ignored in this movie. And I know what you're saying. It's a Hatchet movie. Who cares? It's about the kills.
That it matters.
It doesn't. But they made
at that point, it's just like, this is ridiculous. Okay, I know it's not supposed to be a serious movie. I get that. However, you kind of lose me because you're just like, you're not doing anything right here.
No.
How am I supposed to believe? I know you're not supposed to believe what happens after, but you know what I mean?
I can see the comments right down below just being like, you guys are being too critical about this film. It's Hatchet 3, come on.
No.
He's
the critical one, but I was having none of this.
No, but this is the thing. We haven't discussed that this is what we were both upset about with this movie. This is coming out now. I'm mentioning it, and she's like, "Yep, no, not having it. It wasn't working." No. And so clearly, two people who watched the same movie, who didn't discuss it, and who have pretty differing opinions about movies, have reached the same opinion about just one aspect of this film. Okay? And it wasn't necessary. That's the thing that gets me. There was no... It was sloppy. It was just lazy sloppiness.
Yeah, they could have gone about it a whole different way to just start off. Like, I don't know, and then that could have been avoided. Yeah. And then just go on to the normal thing that happens, and you know, but that just really pissed me off, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
you're not even trying. You're just
and what they were going to do an autopsy on a boat.
That's the other thing. Yeah, it's like what the hell? I watch tons and tons and tons of stupid crap shows. That doesn't happen.
I could get it if it was like, oh, the bodies are decaying. We want to get to it. The swamp is so big. It's going to be, you know, hours and hours and hours before we actually are able to get this out of the lab. We need to get preliminary information about these, you know, this stuff right away. Sure, if you said that. But unfortunately, it doesn't work if later on in the movie you specifically say it's a small swamp. You can't miss us. We're the 4 boats on the swamp.
And that guy, he was not like a medical examiner or anything. That's why I'm like, is he even a medical examiner? What the hell is he? Like, he's just some cop who's interested in the body. I'm like, what the...
yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's...
And yes, we get it. It's not supposed to be, you know, how in real life.
We're not doing CSI here, but come on.
No, it was
CSI.
ridiculous. Like, in a bad way.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if people can get off because, you know, the glove don't fit, then how can you prove that my DNA's with them, considering, you know, I was all over the swamp and everybody's moved everything. DNA's everywhere. Nothing was cataloged.
No, you don't even see, you know, the odd camera flashing. No, you know, nothing.
Nothing. Not a thing.
And this movie just, it made me so mad and so disappointed because I so liked the first 2. I really liked the last one. So I'm going into this excited. I'm like, oh yeah. And no.
Yeah. So what about the kills? Considering this is what Hatchet movies are really all about. What about the kills? This is your 4th journey into Hatchet territory. You know what the kills are going to be like. What did you think? Were there any that...
I kind of wasn't paying that much attention because I was pissed off. I'm like, oh, you're gonna stomp on somebody's head or something? Nah, seen that before.
Yeah, you've seen that in your movies already.
Give me something different.
Yeah.
I'm sounding like you. I want something more.
Yeah. There was no real originality with this.
No.
None of the kill. There was only one new type of kill, and that kill didn't even make any sense because Victor Crowley wouldn't even know how the damn stuff works.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I won't get into it because it probably is the best kill in the movie. So if you haven't seen Hatchet 3, if I told you now, you'd be, this is the worst movie ever because the only good part, Rob told me about it and I knew it was coming. So I won't tell you. I will just say there is a kill. It is probably the best original kill. Not that the kill itself is original, but in terms of the Hatchet series, it is the most original kill.
Yeah, because I just found the other ones. It's just like,
no, it's more, you know, Hatchet here, blah, blah, blah. Well, I will say the Danielle Harris when Victor Crowley comes back at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, that was a little different. I don't quite get what was happening, but it was different. Whatever. But yeah, I wasn't impressed with anything out of this.
So disappointing.
And to be true, I wasn't going into this with high expectations in the beginning.
I was.
Yes, well, you enjoy these things like immensely.
Don't make me sound weird.
Hey, they wouldn't have had 4 movies if people didn't like the stuff, right? Most likely. But yeah, I don't know.
See,
I
if we just did them in order, 1, 2, 3, and I saw this one, I would have been like, why the hell are they making another one?
probably.
I would have been mad. I would have been like, why do I have to go see this other one now?
Though at the same time, 4 probably would have been like even better. Like you liked 4.
Oh, I really did.
Right?
Yeah, I did.
Imagine how much more you would have liked it after seeing it. Like the bar is set so low already. It's like it only has one way, and then whatever. You get the point. Right?
I would have loved it a lot more because there's not even the little bits really of comedy or anything in this one. I'm just like lost. Like where did you go wrong? Like, you had a good thing going. I liked 1 and 2, and then bleh. Very disappointed. This is like a piece of shit. I'm mad. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty clear that you're not going to get a recommend from either of us.
No. However,
yeah.
If you're gonna watch the other ones, watch this one because then you will appreciate the other ones.
See, that's what sucks.
Yeah.
Because you really should watch 3 before you watch 4.
Yeah.
So, at least consider yourself warned. Like, if you liked 1 and 2 was okay, know that 3's a stinker.
But
and that 4
gets much better.
Ups the ante again. But yeah, wow. I
didn't see that coming at
what was
all.
where would he give it a rating?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm being nice though too.
Yeah, I'm almost about the same. I think it's probably about a 1.5, but it does have a whole bunch of kills. Like if this was the only Hatchet movie I saw, then the kills wouldn't be as
no, then you'd be like, oh,
right, like they wouldn't be so boring. But considering I saw most of those same kills in 1 and 2 and 4, it's like okay.
Although there's better ones.
Yes, so. There are better ones. Yeah. Well, in all of them except for this one, honestly. I think the only thing that this really has going for it is it probably has more. I think it probably has more than all of them. Yeah. Though they are, even if they are only like 1-second kills, there's like a montage of kills as sheriffs left, right, and center getting slaughtered.
But it also didn't have like for me anyway, it didn't have the suspense.
No, and there isn't a lot of suspense in the other ones, but there is like none.
No.
None. Not a single thing. The only moment where there's suspense is spoiler.
You get to do a spoiler.
Well, sort of, is where the cops are all sort of, together, and they've learned from going off by themselves. It's not a good thing. So they all get together, and they're walking, and they get to his house, and it's clear as day that he's standing in the doorway, and the cops have their back turned to the doorway, and they're all literally looking away from the house, even though somebody says that's his house.
Yes.
Not only is that his house, but I can see him standing there. You can see him standing there. But the people who were 3 steps away from him couldn't see him standing there. That was like the only moment where you should have had some suspense, where you didn't know he was there.
Yeah, no.
But you didn't know he was, there was nothing. You were just waiting for the moment where he goes, I'm going to kill you. So no suspense, lots of gore, but we've seen most of it before. Story is the worst one of the bunch. I think the only new thing here, which again for us is kind of a repeat because it was in the 4th one, as well as the fact that He is a ghost, which is why you can't kill him. That's explained in this movie for the first time, technically, I guess. So, that's the only real new thing that's thrown into the whole Hatchet mythos here, which wasn't really in the previous 2 films. But, yeah. Yeah, 1.5. I'm giving 2 thumbs down. 1.5, 2.
No, I was.
And she's being generous.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm being very generous with the 2, because
Yeah, I was gonna go 2, but honestly, I'm finding less and less as I think about it, less and less things that are actually good about this film. Yeah. I'm giving it 1.5 simply because there is a lot of gore, and you know, honestly, Kane Hodder as Victor Crowley, I don't have any problem with him. He's just a big guy going around killing shit, and you don't really need to do much for that. I mean, just go, whatever. Though he did have an ab crunch that really impressed Lesley.
I just thought, that's unreal. Nobody does that.
He's like laying flat and just. She's just like, damn.
No, I'm like, that's not real. How am I supposed to believe the rest of the movie? And then what followed?
Well,
see, it's a precursor. That's what that was.
Yeah. She's like, nobody can do that. Nobody has abs like that. I was like, no, just because you haven't been doing sit-ups and you can't do it doesn't mean that other people can't. Because clearly Kane Hodder can.
No, special effects.
Special.
Well, you put some special effects on me, I can do it too.
Oh, okay. It was all wire work.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. No,
anyways, Mr. David Pumpkins, what did you think about it? Well,
who's gonna clean that up now?
Not me. Crap. No, don't. Okay. Well, we've had our fun here. All right. I guess we're signing off. There's more to come with 31 Days of Horror for 2017. Stay tuned. Till next video. Take care. Have a good one.